Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back. Our guest today is my good friend Chris Vermeulen. He is the founder and chief investment officer at the Technical Trader. Welcome back, Chris.
Hey, Ivan, always a pleasure. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's great to see you. A huge pleasure for you coming down. I wanted to get you down to talk about, all the excitement that's happening in gold and silver right now. Let's start off with gold, though. What do you think, Chris? Is the gold really at Fort Knox?
I don't know. I doubt it. But I guess, maybe one day we'll actually find out. But there's a lot going on with all the gold moving from, UK over to America. Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about, all the gold moving around the world. Is it banks? Is it central banks? Because a lot of people are saying that I've interviewed the past couple of weeks that it's not your everyday silver and gold stacker that's buying this much gold. It's actually big players who are taking delivery of this gold. But yeah, where do you think the gold market is going in 2025?
Yeah, I think it will be a rough market for gold. I do think I mean there's a lot of fishy stuff going on with gold, which makes me think there's something big's going to happen and it could go higher. But if there isn't some black swan event like that where who knows what they're setting up, as you were just saying, the retail trade investors aren't really buying gold. It's all the big institutions. It's like, the government and all of that. So it's big players, which I guess the insiders always seem to know what's going on because they're the ones who make the rules. I do think gold is more upside. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty. So I am still long, like bullish on gold. I'm not selling any gold. I think you want to own physical gold in case something crazy happens. But I do think 2025, if the economy starts to weaken and we start to see a reset in the markets, which I do think is going to happen, hopefully in the next couple of months, we'll see a major market top unfold. Gold will be under some pressure, but it should hold up fairly well. I still think it's going to pull back to maybe $2,600, $2,400 an ounce. So it'll be a half decent pullback, but it'll be an opportunity because after the panic selling hits, I think it's going to be what we saw after 2008 financial crisis, whereas it'll be 4 or 5 years of just huge steady run to the upside, lots of potential. But again, like when you see massive panic selling in the stock market, we saw that more or less today, or as you and I are speaking, which is February 25th,
Right.
gold got hit. When there's a lot of fear in the market, the VIX is high. We see panic selling in the stock market. Almost everybody, when they're scared, they dump everything and run for cash. And so that's what happens in a bear market. So I think we're going to have a bear market this year in stocks. Gold will be a little bit under pressure, which will be the last opportunity to accumulate before it really takes off for 2026 and up to 2023 or 2030, sorry.
What's your biggest concern in the markets right now for the stock market? Is it like the tech bubble that you're seeing you're going to see some type of crazy volatility, or what's your biggest concern right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest concern is the everybody seemed to pile into the Magnificent Seven, the big tech. When that trend finally turns to the downside, all those people are going to start to sell in panic, and they're so heavy weighted of the indexes. They're gonna go into a free fall mode and have a huge correction. That's the large cap side. If you flip to the small cap side, like the Russell 2000, it put in a double top over the past couple of months
Right.
from back into 2021 or 2022. It put a top in back then as well. So this looks like a pretty major top for small caps, and that is not a good sign. Small caps like to lead the way, and if they put in a double top and the Magnificent Seven are starting to get unloaded from institutions, once that downward trend kicks into gear, the retail traders start to panic, and then they start to sell it and they drive the price down. So I think we're going to get hit. The Magnificent Seven are going to do most of the heavy pulling to the downside. But once it really kicks in and people are fearful, and all we hear is bear market, people are going to start dumping things. So the Magnificent Seven are probably going to be the ones that turn the tide. And then we'll see everybody start dumping all their stocks later this year.
There's about $15 trillion worth of physical gold in the world sitting there costing money rather than being used. It's just absolutely insane. Monetary Metals is bringing gold back into the financial world, putting gold to productive use right now. The problem with gold, of course, in physical form is that it's heavy, it's cumbersome, it's not particularly easy to ship, and it costs money to store in a protected manner. This platform Monetary Metals created is a proven concept and allows gold to be put to productive use. So instead of sitting there costing you money, it's actually in use earning you money.
Learn how you can earn 2 to 5% in our leasing program and how accredited investors can earn up to 12% on silver paid in silver. This advertisement is not investment or financial advice. Minimum investment applies.
Now, other than gold, where are you finding your safety net? Obviously, you're saying there's going to be some type of volatility in the stock market coming up here. Where are you finding your safety net? Are you just going into cash, USD, or where are you putting your money right now?
Yeah, I'm a big believer of holding US dollars. So we'll be moving to cash, US dollars, just collecting interest. Long term, depending on the two strategies. As a long term investor, we're still in a bull market. This pullback we've seen recently is really just a small pullback within a bull market. So as a long term equities investor, you should still be long. But as a shorter term trader, we're moving to cash, and we're going to really sit on the sidelines in the US dollar. So it's kind of like a cash slash US dollar play. I'm in Canada, so US dollar to me is a trade, but for
Right.
obviously an American, it's really just going to cash because I believe the dollar is going to continue to strengthen and move higher. Obviously, it's been shaken up with Trump and the tariffs, but I'm still very bullish on the dollar itself and the dollar index.
I'm in Canada as well, Chris. What do you think about the tariffs right now, against Canada or not against Canada? What do you think about the tariffs in general? Is that good for the global economy? Bad? Was it good for the US? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. I
Right.
mean, it's going to increase costs, but I mean, Trump is shaking things up. I mean, Canada's been pretty slack. We don't have much of a military or army, and
There's nothing up here.
I don't know if there are any countries run really well. I know Canada does not run very well. I don't think the
No.
states has run very well. So I don't know. It's just the power. The powers are kind of shaking things up to swing their weight around. I'm not a big fan of the tariffs because it's going to affect a lot of businesses. I think it's going to hurt both sides of the border, U.S.
Right.
and Canada, in terms of our tariffs. There's a lot of going back and forth, and as you know, we have a ton of snowbirds, which means those are Canadians who are retired. They all go to Florida for the winter, and a ton of people are selling their homes, and they're like, I am not going to the States. Like, there's a lot of people rebelling, right? Because America wants to really take over Canada, which, some people have said it's like an act of war. It depends on how
Yeah.
you see it, right?
Yeah.
So it's shaking things up. It's going to hurt both sides, no doubt.
Yeah. Now, you wrote a book called Asset Revesting. Can you talk a little bit about it? And I guess why did you write this book?
Yeah, so I wrote the book mostly because I believe we're coming into a time. Well, let's backstep. So, pretty much everyone, when you become an investor, there are usually two or three opportunities, two or three times in your life where you go through these big major financial resets, like 2000 tech bubble, the 2008 financial crisis. I believe we're coming to another one. It takes most people usually one or two of these uh, events through their life to start to realize, hey, I need to do something different this time.
Yeah,
And right now,
absolutely.
there's the majority of people investing in the markets, or the majority of the money, they're retirees or close to retired. They're pretty much 45 or 50 plus, and they're retired. And so I have gone through these cycles. The first one, I lost my shirt. The second one, I was able to retire early. And now I just manage my money and I share my insights with people like you and subscribers. So the whole point of the book is like, how many people can I help protect from the next financial crisis? And this time, it to me is the biggest because we have the baby boomer wave. And like, how many can we try to stop from losing their lifestyle and having to, give back 30, 40 years worth of hard work and saving?
Hello, my fellow silver and gold stacker. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, please like the video, and also hit the notification bell. Keep stacking.
During a market reset. And so the book Asset Revesting is all about taking our money and reinvesting into an asset that's going up. So when the stock market goes into a bear market, there will be other plays we can do. We can either bet that the market is falling and profit
Right.
from collapsing pricing. We could move into bonds. I think bonds eventually will become a very good play. Not yet, but soon. We could hold the US dollar. The dollar index usually goes up fairly dramatically while the stock market collapses. So there's a bunch of plays we can do. And then not only have you profited from uncertainty and falling prices, but then you have tons of capital to reinvest for the next bull market that should last 5 or 10 years, and double your account again in a very quick period of time. So the problem with the bear market coming is the markets fall about 7 times faster than they rise. So,
Right.
you live a 7 year bull market and then you give it all back in a year. Bear markets are very swift and they catch you off guard. And so you need to be ready. So that's the whole point of the book is how many people can I help not only avoid this next market crash, but actually profit from it and come out way ahead. Because when we come through the other side of this recession and this market reset, it's going to be a whole new world. AI is going to have 2 or 3 years bubbling, in this recession to improve,
Absolutely.
and we're going to come out swinging with robot arms.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy world. Like I'm just thinking back 50 years and now looking 50 years forward. It'll be
Yeah,
a completely different world from
yeah.
investing to living, your day-to-day culture, economics, absolutely. But before you go, I really would love for everyone to connect with you. Everyone watching, I highly recommend you please go follow Chris, follow his work. I'm going to put the links in the description below. But where can people connect with you, Chris?
Yeah, best spot to connect is YouTube, which is The Technical Traders, or my website, thetechnicaltraders.com. And share lots of insight there throughout the week. And of course, we have a free newsletter, so you can follow and ride my coattails and see what's going on each week.
Nice. Well, it's a huge pleasure having you come down, Chris. And as the market develops and as everything continues and all the craziness in the world, I'd absolutely love to have you back on.
Thanks, Ivan. Always a pleasure. Take care.
Talk to you soon.